Hi guys, how's everyone doing today? Thanks so much for hanging out with me. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Zita, and on my channel I'll be sharing a variety of DIYs with you, such as thrift store makeovers, upcycles. I'll be doing some room makeovers and thrift flips for resale, some home decorating, and I'm also going to share some recipes with you guys every now and again. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button and also click that notification bell. That way YouTube will notify you when I upload a new video. The more DIY friends we have, the better. And you can also follow me over on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and Etsy at OakWell Home. So today, guys, I have 3 thrift flips that I'll be doing for you. So let's get started and see how I transformed them. So this first DIY here, guys, this is an old picture frame that I thrifted. That picture on there is paper. I did try and take it off first, but it was going to be really hard. And so I decided to leave it there and just paint the whole frame in black. Now, first I'm taking off the picture hanger here on the back. And just to let you know, guys, the reason I'm showing you this part is because I'm going to fill in those holes with a wood filler. But I did have the intention of using this frame for a scene inside on the back, like a Christmas scene actually, but I ran out of time during Christmas, so I didn't get a chance to do that. So I'm going in a whole different direction here today since Christmas is over. But I just wanted to show you this part just in case you have a frame like this and you want to use the opposite side where you could put a scene inside this deep frame. So I first filled it with wood filler, and once that was dry I sanded it all down. And so if I want to change my mind again in the future and just use the frame on both sides, I can do that. So my first step here was to paint the entire frame in black because I did want to distress it back once I painted it in white. So I gave it a couple of coats of black, and once the black paint was dry, I sealed it in with a sealant, just because if you're going to do some distressing and you don't seal it in, then you may seal it back, you may distress it back to the frame if it's not sealed in. So if you want to do your distressing, make sure you seal in that black paint. So as you can see here, I gave it a couple of coats of black paint, and then I started with my chalk paint once the sealant was dry. So this is what it looks like when it's all dry. So now I'm going to give it that coat of homemade chalk paint, guys. So this is what the frame looks like after 3 coats of paint I put on this. And here I'm just using a wet rag to do the distressing. And as you'll see, the black is coming through and not the wood, and that's because I placed the sealant on it. And this is what it looks like, the distressing. And right here I'm going to be using some IOD stamps. And this package is really beautiful. It has a lot of beautiful transfers. So I'll leave a link for that in the description box as well. So this is the transfer that I'm going to be using here, this beautiful rose. So I'm just going to cut around that and just place it where I want on the frame. I'm also going to be putting a butterfly there on the top, like it's going to land on that rose. And then underneath this rose in that package, there was some writing. It's some French words for rose, I believe. So right here, I'm just taking out the paper that's underneath the transfer. So make sure, guys, that you know where you want to place your transfer before pulling that paper out, because once it sticks, you're committed. So I've finished burnishing it down with the plastic stick that comes in the package, and right here I'm using that paper that came off and I'm just burnishing it down some more. And right here I'm just burnishing down the words and kind of just pull it up slowly, guys. I have it on higher speed here, so it looks like I'm doing it really fast, but kind of when you're pulling your paper back, just make sure all of that transfer is going down on your piece. Right there, I'm just doing the butterfly, and as you can see, I'm just kind of pulling it up, making sure it's all sticking with that burnishing tool that it comes in the package. And then I'm using the plastic there that came off to burnish it down some more. Doesn't that look beautiful, guys? I'm absolutely in love with this piece. I love these transfers. It looks like you painted it on there. It's so beautiful. So if you haven't tried these IOD transfers, guys, give them a try. It makes your projects really quick and easy. I think Redesign for Prima also makes them, so you can look those up as well. And right here, I'm just using a clear finishing wax to seal in my piece, and then it's all finished. And I'll show you in a second here how that's gonna look. So there's the before, guys. So guys, I'm here in my bathroom, and this is where I'm going to place this beautiful picture in here. I'm absolutely loving this transfer. It's gorgeous. And the reason I'm going to put it in my bathroom is because of that thermostat right there. I don't like those to show sometimes. I don't know if anyone else is like me, likes to cover those up. Let me know in the comments. And guys, I did use a homemade chalk paint recipe on this beautiful framed piece here, and I will leave the link for the video in the description box. If you want to try this homemade recipe, you can try it yourself. It's working wonderful. Really easy to just dress up your piece with it. So yeah, give that a try. So I already have a nail up there. So what do you think, guys? Look at that. It covers up that thermostat perfectly because the frame is deep. So I think I'll be keeping this one for myself. I don't think I'm going to be selling this one. This frame works perfectly right there. So guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think of this piece and this transfer? For my next DIY, this is a Thrifted recipe box. It's looking pretty shabby there and kind of ugly. Not a style I would use, that's for sure. I don't like all that, I don't know, it looks like some yellow paint was like sponged on there. I think that's back from, I don't know, the 80s when that sponge technique was really big, like just dabbing on like with a, I don't know, sea sponge or... Yeah, so it wasn't my taste, and if I was, and I don't think it's many other people's taste either. So I first gave it a good coat of black paint, and this is just an interior paint that I'm using here, guys. And right there, I'm sealing in that black paint with polyacrylic because, again, I'm going to be distressing the piece, and I don't want it to distress back to the wood. So now I'm going to give it a coat of my homemade chalk paint. And again, I'll leave that video link in the description box if you want to try making your own chalk paint. You know, if you've run out of your brand name, or you just don't have all the money to spend on chalk paint, because it is very expensive. So I'll probably be using this homemade recipe myself more often. I think it costs less than $1 to make like a cup of it. So right here, I'm distressing back the piece to bring that black through, as you can see here. And now on one side, I'm just taping it off here. I'm going to put some grain sack stripes. And as I was doing this, I thought I'm going to try a different direction too. So I did both sides. So you can change it up if you want to, you know, for the seasons. And if I sell this piece, I'll give the buyer like a couple of options. They can use one side where there's a grain sack stripe, and it's going to say notes. And then this other side here, I had this floral piece that I'm going to put on there with Mod Podge. I'm going to do the reverse Mod Podge method. So I'm going to apply my Mod Podge down on this side, and then I'm going to put that floral piece of paper face down on the Mod Podge, guys. And I'm just going to let that sit overnight. And I've let that sit overnight, and now I'm just going to take it off with some water. Don't saturate it in water, just, you know, get it wet, but not like sopping wet. And then once you have it wet, you're going to use your fingers to take off that paper. So like I said, I let this sit for 24 hours. So as you can see here, I'm rubbing gently enough where you get the paper to come off, but not too hard where you're taking off some of the print, which I did in some areas, and you'll see there that I rubbed a little too hard in some areas. I'm just getting used to this method here, but I'm loving it. Look at that. But as you can see there, you can see like a little bit of white where I rubbed off some of the print. So don't rub too hard. So this is the other side. I have some vinyl letters here on hand. So I'm just spelling out the word notes, and I started with the letter T in the center first, so my words will be more centered. So these vinyl letters, guys, I got from the Dollar Tree. So if you don't have a Cricut or Silhouette, I did, but I had these on hand. So I thought I'd use these. So if you don't have a Cricut or Silhouette, you can just pick up some vinyl letters at your local dollar store. And I'm going to use a clear finishing wax on this piece as well to seal everything in. And then this piece is done. So let me know, guys, have you guys tried this reverse Mod Podge method? And let me know which side you like the best, the side with the notes and the grain sack stripe, or the other side with this beautiful floral. It looks really rustic. I'm loving both sides, actually. I really like both sides, but let me know in the comments which side you like the best. So this is what it looked like before, and this is how beautiful it looks after. You can use this for recipe cards, you can use it for note cards. As I've shown you here, here's some recipes and some note cards that I like to send out to my friends and family sometimes. And I'm showing you both sides here. So you could use this also for some affirmation cards. This could be used for all sorts of things. So let me know in the comments, guys, what do you thought of this one? For the final DIY here, guys, I'm going to be making over some thrifted milk bottles. And I found 3 of these at the thrift store, so that worked out great. So I'm just giving them a couple of coats of white spray paint here. And after I gave them a couple of coats of the white spray paint and let that dry, I sealed that in with a sealant. And here I'm just kind of giving them a light sanding with 220 grit sand block here. They were kind of gritty, so I just we're smoothing them out there a little bit. And right here I'm just using some vinyl lettering that says number 1, number 2, and number 3, and I did these on my silhouette cameo. And right here I'm just using the transfer tape and just burnishing it down with I have an old card here that I use. And then I'm just centering them up on the bottle, placing them where I want it, and I'm just putting a couple of pieces of whatever I had on my craft desk here on the side to keep it from rolling around. And this is what it looks like, and this is what all 3 of them look like with number 1, number 2, and number 3 on there. This looks very farmhouse, I find. Then I put some lavender in there, and this project was very quickly done. What do you think of this quick redo, guys? Let me know in the comments. Well, I hope you enjoyed these DIYs today. Let me know in the comments which one of these was your favorite, and I hope they gave you some inspiration. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys. I really appreciate you being here, and please consider subscribing and click that notification bell. That way YouTube will let you know when I upload new videos. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.